Welcome, everybody, to episode 77 of the Good Kraken podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ernell Pearson, alongside the 5-star man with the 10-finger plan.
Hello. I hate it. I hate it
here.
Devin Stanford, how are you doing, baby?
I'm doing good. Doing good. A little tired. Doing good.
Yeah, aren't we all?
Saw
You know what I mean?
an amazing movie last night called Harry Potter and the Legend of the Five Fists. And yeah, I'm doing great.
The Legend of the Five Fists. Jesus Christ. Surreal in the chat. Hello, Surreal. What's happening? What's happening, Surreal? Yes,
70.
episode 77. That's what we're at right now.
Yeah, welcome.
It's been a wild year. It's been a wild year.
Yeah.
God damn.
That's how late to the train you are, Surreal, but I love you. It's okay.
Hey, welcome in. Welcome in. You know what I'm saying? Also, we have the queen of bitchin' herself, Genesee Gabrielle. How are you doing, baby?
I'm much better now that I'm with y'all. How are you?
Hey.
I got a question. I got a question for you, Genesee.
For me?
Yes.
What is
So
that?
being the queen of bitchin'.
Yeah.
but
What does that entail?
I
My monarchy?
No. I just like envision you like as a Alice in Wonderland style queen. So I ask you,
Ooh.
what card suit would be incorporated into your costume design?
Oh, that's fascinating. Well, first of all, my color palette is like pink and black.
Mm-hmm.
So it would definitely be like I'm picturing like I want to say hearts because that just feels on brand, but I could also see like a spade working pretty well with like a sick ass like different shades of pink and like a really like glittery like geo kind of black. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And just like fuck it up with a fucking
how would
bodice
you rule?
and
How would you rule the Wonderland that Alice resides in?
the Wonderland that Alice resides in. I feel like I'd take like a pretty like
Bitchin'
Aurora,
approach, you would say?
a pretty bitchin' approach, a pretty like Aurora and Maleficent vibe. Like I just want to
Okay.
hang out with all the magical creatures. I would throw like so many tea parties. Like I don't understand why the Red Queen is out here like being mean to everybody. Like when she could just be having tea with the Mad Hatter. Like let's just bitch it up.
Yeah, it's like she took the phrase "let's be bitchin'" or "get bitchin'," you know, like two
Well,
to heart.
Literally.
Yeah. So she just turned into a bitch.
Yeah. But like,
Jesus Christ. Jesus
Damn,
fucking
son.
Christ.
let's get bitchin'. We are firm believers that bitchin' can be fun. And being a bitch can be fun.
Hell yeah.
The other voice you have not quite heard yet is my little Thai peanut. It's Xander. Oh.
Hi.
Hi, Xander. How are you, baby? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
All
It's a late afternoon for me here. I did some Christmas shopping this morning with the little one. And then we got McDonald's. So I'm not too proud of that one.
Yeah, that's
You
okay.
should be.
Once in a while, it's
It's
fine.
okay.
Once in a while, it's fine.
I will
You know?
say
Well, we had
this.
Wendy's
be
last
fine.
night, so
So did we.
Hell yeah, brother.
Twinsies.
Can I say this though? Sometimes I will just get this craving that I cannot stop of just a large McDonald's French fry. It's just one of-
Goddamn right.
I
They're
did
damn.
not
that.
even the best French fries, but whatever oil that they use to fry them in, the way that they do it, it's just like
They put
my
something
addiction.
in
It's
it.
cocaine oil.
Yeah,
It's
they put
cocaine oil.
cocaine in
No,
it.
You know, it's just my
it's God's
addiction.
coombs.
it's God's coons.
God's coom. God's coom.
You know
That's
what?
it
I'm
is.
fucking
Speaking
addicted
of
to.
coons,
Oh no.
I sent you guys something on Instagram in
Oh, I
a group
saw
chat. It's actually pretty
I
funny.
saw that.
I don't think I
I
understood
don't
it.
approve of it.
I don't
Am I
think
gonna
I
lose?
understood the
Am I
joke.
really about to pause? We're really about to pause the show so we can all go look at this.
It's not like I didn't say pause the show to look at it right now. I just said, I sent you something.
And no, Ernell's already curious. He's already looking at his phone.
This is.
I didn't
fucking
understand the
dumb.
joke.
This is so
To be honest.
bad.
It's dumb.
Yeah. I felt similarly when I opened it to how I feel when I opened the Good Kraken's TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that
Yeah.
like TikTok could be confusing. Like I open up our TikTok feed and I'm like like I'll just get a random like video of some dude's nose, and I'm like, I don't get the point. Like I don't understand what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like that, Sandra, exactly like that with music playing in the background. I'm like, I don't understand why we're
Wait,
here.
is it the one where they flare their nostrils to the beat of the music?
No.
Because Billie Eilish does that a lot.
No, our For You page on Good Kraken is fucked. I love it. Apparently, I've infiltrated.
Gotta start working that algorithm.
Xander, Surreal says that they want to see the meme that Genesee or that Devin sent in our Instagram. Could you put that in our Discord? Could you put that in the meme chat in our Discord? You know what I'm saying?
It's relevant because it's one of Ernell's favorite phrases.
It is. Yes. Yeah.
What is one of your favorite
shitted, farted, and cummed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Now it makes sense.
That's why I sent it. It's because I'm like, oh, Ernell says this like every day,
all the time, and I do them every day. You know what I'm saying? Every single day, I'm just out here, shitting, farting, coming, just like you guys at home can do, because every day you guys are shitting, farting, and coming. Because especially today, because today we're talking about Devin versus the Division 2. Never Say Die, our Spider-Man No Way Home review, and much more, because this is the Good Kraken Podcast, your choice for all the nerdy video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you want to hear. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 12 p.m. Serial's like, stop in the chat. If you're riding this wave, you can head on over to patreon.com/Good Kraken Show. Let's get a Patreon in the chat. Let's get a Patreon.
Yeah, I got you.
Where you can submit questions and topics to the show, get exclusive post-show content, and have early access to episodes before they go live on podcasts and video services across the digital sea. However, if you've emptied your pockets for the latest and greatest in entertainment, that is totally fine. You can watch us record this show live right here at twitch.tv/GoodKrakenShow. If you have Amazon Prime, you also have Twitch Prime, and we would love for you to give that to us to help keep us pushing content out for all of you listening and or watching at home. But you can also support us by going to our YouTube channel by clicking the beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Good Kraken with an exclamation mark and leaving a review there. Xander!
Review.
Jesus, is that you?
We have some captain's orders, my friend. Please come join our Discord. We have got that all fancied up, all beautifuled up. Xander is taken head on I mean, from a lot of things, but
yeah. I mean, Xander taking head. What's new?
Shit and farted.
Okay, guys. Wow. We're off to it this morning. Hello.
Xander has taken control of the GK Discord. Please go in there.
Sir.
Please hang out. Please talk to us. We're trying to be a little bit more interpersonal with you guys in our community, and so we're gonna try to get Genesee in there to hang out and talk to people. We're gonna try to get Garrick in there to hang out and talk with you guys. Please come in, talk to us, hang out with us. It's gonna be a damn good time.
Also, I'm on playing like a lot of multiplayer games a lot of time. So if you see me on in the Discord, hit me up. Literally, just hit
especially
me up.
if he's in AFK and he's there for 2 hours while me and Xander are talking at 1 o'clock in the morning, and we can hear go in and we can hear
children,
Devin talking.
Stay
to
away from the
people.
devil's lettuce.
Do no such thing. Fuck it up with the devil's lettuce.
Please go watch Ocean Shrine Storytime Episode 1 on our YouTube. I finally got to restart technically and actually give a fair shake to Horizon Zero Dawn. I played for an hour and a half the other night. We are putting up gameplay streams onto our YouTube going forward, so you guys who aren't able to catch us live can go watch them afterwards up on our YouTube. With that said, also please subscribe to our YouTube, because we're 10 away. 10 more subscriptions away from getting an official YouTube URL.
Yeah,
finally. Jesus Christ.
Subscribe, y'all.
Please.
It's taken us 77 episodes to ask you guys
Goddamn.
to do it.
Goddamn. Cyril, yes, I loved watching that game. Thank you, Cyril. You were great. You and Esco were awesome.
That was actually hilarious.
We'll love, watching more Horizon in the coming weeks, especially when you get to Horizon Forbidden West, when there's all that water that produces what, Ernell?
Little waves, my friend.
Let's go.
Xander, could you give okay, here's the thing. I don't know what the fuck is going on right now because it is not playing sounds. Xander, could you link Surreal to our YouTube for me really quick?
Yes. I gotcha.
Thank you, baby. For what? Yeah, I gotta figure this out really quick because it is not recording sounds and it's bothering the fuck out of me.
While
right
you
now.
guys do that, Devin and I will have a very important conversation.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Candy. Have you had these motherfuckers?
Yes.
They're amazing. Okay. There's been a thing in Naomi's family where we introduce them to new candies. Particularly around the time of her father's passing. We were all holed up in the house for like a week. And Naomi and I rolled up with like so much food and so much candy. Like we just went to Freddy's and like basically like went down the candy aisle and like swooped it into the cart. we were like, we're getting everything. And so we got like every flavor they had of these sweet tart ropes, and we got these. Yeah.
Flavor.
Said that like you're from Georgia.
Flavor.
Did I?
Oh, that was a little bit New Orleans right there.
Oh yeah.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna try this out now. Nope, still didn't work. God damn it. God fucking damn it. Dude, I hate
my
this
favorite
wavelength
candy. My favorite candy right now is probably the Airhead Extremes like strips, you know, or and stuff. I really like those, and I've always been a big Skittles whore.
Oh, I fucked up with sour Skittles. I don't like regular Skittles. They actually make me nauseous, but
I like the wild berry ones specifically.
This
Fun
is
fact,
a wild
I don't really care for candy at all.
really?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I do not.
I'm sorry, that was
I
mean.
have
He's
the
boring.
opposite of
He's boring.
I have the opposite of a sweet
God
tooth.
damn it. God
You
damn
do?
it.
That's disgusting. Well, actually, that's not necessarily bad because that would imply that you have a savory tooth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, are you like a really good like flavored biscuit and like flavor? That sounded so dirty.
Surreal, I love you.
That sounded so bad.
Yes, we love you,
You know.
Cyril. We love you, Cyril. Thank you so much.
Do you like really good like savory foods? Like if you get like a good like
Yeah,
rosemary
like,
focaccia
so-
bread. I fucked up
Yeah,
with rosemary.
sometimes. I would more. I'm also not a huge bread person.
What is wrong with you, Xander? I gave you a chance to redeem yourself.
I'm know.
watching my health.
No. It's not even that. I just don't really care for like
No,
that
that's-
stuff.
that's
I don't
fair.
know what it is. Like, and like anytime I have something sweet, I have to follow up with something like I'll have like maybe like a piece of candy like or something like that, and then immediately follow up with like chips and salsa. Like that's what I have to have
Chips
to
and
like
salsa
kind
is
of like cut
amazing.
that.
Anyways,
And, like-
I'm starting to get fucking irritated, so I'm not going to even bother with this before I punch my fucking computer in the face. So,
Oh man, you're
anyways,
fine.
Devin,
Your
go
computer's
ahead.
expensive.
It's the wavelength. It's the wavelength update.
Yeah,
I haven't even done it yet.
It fucked up my entire audio outputting, so I have to reset everything. It's getting on my goddamn nerves. Anyways, Devin, start on Little Waves, please.
Yeah. So, anyways, something that we were angry about last week. Ubisoft announced a Splinter Cell remake. Announced on Ubisoft's
No,
website.
you were angry about that. But this is a different thing. This is a different thing.
Announced on Ubisoft's website, the remake will be developed and led by Studio Ubisoft Toronto. The developers of Splinter Cell Blacklist, it will be built from the ground up using the Snowdrop engine, which is what they used in Division and everything, which I do like. And the upcoming Avatar Frontiers of Pandora game. Ubisoft's as yet untitled Star Wars game is also using it. Look, I want new Splinter Cell. I just don't want it to be a weird open world Watch Dogs game. I don't need more of the same like open world concept stuff from them. That's all. That's it.
Sounds to me like you hate the Division, dude.
Sounds to me like you're trying to make me look bad.
I mean, like, listen. I mean, if you like, Watch Dogs and Division 2 are not that fucking far off from each other. If you don't like Watch Dogs,
They are very far off from each other. Very different games systematically.
I mean, like, are they though? You know,
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
are
Division
they?
2
Like,
is like a more grounded Destiny in the third person. Watch Dogs is like Assassin's Creed no more, but futuristic, and I'm gonna hack everything and do stealth and
and his open
fuck shit up.
world, and you
yeah,
shoot things. and it's open world.
You know, I could actually
thing.
take the black sheep on this one because I don't like either games.
Get
Me
fucked.
either.
Get
Legitimately.
fucked,
I'm with
Xander.
you,
You know what I'm saying?
Legitimately.
You know what, Devin? I've been after you all this time. Maybe it's fucking Xander that's the goddamn culprit here. You know what I'm saying? You know what
I
I'm saying?
actually like The Division.
Do
I
you,
didn't.
though?
I
Do you,
didn't
though?
like it at all.
Warlords was really fun, and it was grindy as fuck.
It was very fun. It was very fun.
It just wasn't
Yeah.
my cup of tea.
Anyways,
I got bored with
Yeah,
it.
Vodio is North America's first certified game developer union. Woo! Vodio!
let's go.
The union
Let's
is
go, game
called
industry.
Vodio Workers United, also known as VWU, VOO, and was
Woo.
formed with the Communications Workers of
VOO.
America, the CWA, and the Indie Studio Video Games, an organization that works to help employees organize into unions. The union says the process was unconventional because the staff is fully remote, and over half of the union's bargaining unit is made up of independent contractors. Oh,
Sorry. Bargaining?
You know what?
Bargaining.
Don't give him a hard
Bargaining,
time.
Devin.
Reading is
Guys,
hard.
what
Reading
did I
is
say
difficult.
at the beginning of the show? Stay away from the devil's lettuce.
Bargaining. God
You know
damn
what?
I can't read surreal. Words are hard
Words
sometimes.
are hard.
All right. We were
Should've
just
seen
talking
those
about
programs.
how,
Should've seen
how
those programs.
I have like
Also-
crazy ADD or ADHD earlier this week. Okay.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
I have hardcore
Unit-
dyslexia, so I'm the bitch that like I would
Yeah.
read it like that. Words are fucked up, my dude.
I did surreal. I did actually like 45 minutes ago.
Anyways.
So it's made of independent contractors. Vodio is a very small studio with only 13 employees listed on the studio's website. Very easy to make a union when it's, concentrated group
Yeah.
in that effort.
Yeah.
But no, this is good news. This is a good step forward. Everybody's been talking about it for years now. Hopefully some corporations and publishers and studios actually start taking these steps as well, because boy, is our industry a little fucked right now when it comes to that.
Goddamn.
So-
Please let this be the little match that starts this fire, because goddamn, we need this. We need this in the games industry so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. I mean, it just came to like the journalism and media side of it just a few years ago. Like it's still like a new concept for a lot of companies for some reason, even though that this has been around for like 70 fucking years, or but
right.
yeah,
right.
I just don't get it. It's just corporate scumbags being corporate scumbags.
We need
Anyways.
unions, more unions.
Yep.
I digress.
Especially in my industry too, because even in my industry, there's no unions.
Yeah, that's fucked, dude.
Yeah, for what I do.
Really? I didn't. I
Yeah.
would have thought if there was any.
You would have thought
Yeah.
there isn't.
For blue collar
Not
work
in
like
my
that?
specific. Not in my specific field.
Esco in the chat. Hi, Esco.
Hey.
And even within fields, like the representation of unions can vary substantially. Because Naomi was working at a hospital not too long ago, and her position was not unionized,
Yeah.
which is absurd to me.
Yeah, so surreal. Not that it's very exciting, but I do garage doors. I install them, repair them, do everything residential, commercial, a lot of low voltage wiring, framing, all that stuff. A lot of technical things. And even for that, there isn't a union for that specific field.
We're even talking
Yeah.
about starting to unionize in my day job shit too, as a
It needs to.
delivery driver.
needs
Because
to.
there's now talks that like FedEx is starting to lower the rate in which they pay contractors.
Yeah. So it's
oh, God,
as
man.
someone who used to also do that job for a couple years in my life, FedEx is a disgusting company.
Yeah.
Like absolutely disgusting with
Yeah.
the way that they treat the drivers and package handlers and
Unless they're
make it all
express. Unless they're express.
Yeah, but FedEx Ground, FedEx Home, disgusting. Anyways, moot point from here on. Goonies TV show is set for Disney Plus. According to Variety, the upcoming show is about a teacher who helps her class recreate the Goonies in a shot-for-shot remake, originally known as the Untitled Film Reenactment Project. The script was adapted by Sarah Watson into a pilot episode for Fox, produced by Warner Brothers Television. It is now shifted to Disney Plus, as well as getting a new name, Our Time.
Cool. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So is it? So
More
is this
Goonies.
like actually like a Goonies TV show, or is it just like Goonies reenactment thing?
I think it's a
It's-
Goonies TV show.
Yeah, it's them reenacting the movie. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they do
That's
it.
interesting.
Yeah. What's way more interesting now is DC's Blue Beetle shifts from HBO Max to theatrical release, will launch 2023. Warner Brothers has announced that the Blue Beetle is now heading to theaters in 2023 instead of its original streaming release. As noted by Hollywood Reporter, the Blue Beetle solo movie is now getting a full theatrical release. Originally set to release on HBO Max, it will now instead get a theatrical. It's like the same thing over and over in that paragraph. It'll now get a theatrical release August 18th, 2023. You know, they could have used like 2 less sentences in that because
Yeah, I
they
know,
pretty much
I
said
know,
the same
I
thing
know.
3 times.
The thing is too is I for that one specifically, because the other ones I sort of like craft and like put things together. That one was just like, oh well, the information's right there because they don't really have any other information besides
Yeah.
that. So I was like,
It could have
sure.
just said Warner Brothers announced Blue Beetle solo movie leaving HBO Max, heading to theaters August 18th, 2023.
yeah,
There.
yeah.
Hire me to be your editor
I will say-
wherever that story came from.
I do kind of want to piggyback off of this news as well with like recent DC news because you guys know my buddy Husky. He's a
Oh,
huge
yeah.
DC fan.
Yes.
And recent DC news has been quite messy. It feels like so. Recently, the Batman got tested twice at the request of Warner Brothers. Once with a specific character in it, and once without.
Hold on, Xander.
No.
Esco redeemed hydrate. You got a drink.
Oh yes.
What?
Twitch has a thing now where they can demand that we hydrate for a second. So we have to do that. There you go. There you go. Thank
do
you.
love
Thank
that.
you, Esco. We
Next
appreciate
up,
it.
Wonder Woman will be reportedly showing up in Shazam 2. That one agent from the Suicide Squad and potentially Peacemaker will be showing up in Black Adam. And then the Flash rumors are the Flash will be making his own team with Keaton, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Supergirl, and others. Along with the actress that plays Iris in the film saying, I originally joined for Rick Fumiara. Now I just hope that fans enjoy it. It all feels very muddled and messy, and I'm scared for DC fans right now because I
Yeah.
don't know if they're actually going to be finally making that change that DC needs to have their films basically on par with how like Marvel fans see their films. Like DC fans are just like,
Yeah, Surreal
Yeah.
Shazam is actually one of the best DC movies. I recommend it. And the Baby Yoda mug, Esco, is a gift from our very own Genesee, the Queen of Bitchin.
As is my tiny human tamer cup.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Jen.
So we
I love
have-
it
we
so
love
much.
you. We
Look,
love you.
Look,
Love you.
it's a snack. He attack. He protect.
I have a shirt that is like almost matching that, but it says snacks, attacks, and takes naps.
Oh, that's
Oh,
amazing.
so you're saying
That's
that
amazing.
we match?
We watched.
Anyways, continue on, Devin.
So yeah, I mean, I want DC to be good, but goddamn, they've been fucking up the movies. I will say this: the Titans TV show is rad. I really like
yeah.
that. I really
my
like that.
my only last little bit on that is the fact that if DC wants their shit to be good, don't try and copy Marvel.
Yeah, don't.
Do your own fucking thing.
Yes.
Yep.
Do your own thing. Make it dark. Make it gritty.
Yeah.
Make it DC.
I will
Don't
say
make
this.
it Marvel with a DC skin.
I will say this, and I said this to Ernell last night after we saw the Batman trailer again.
For like the 5th time.
Yeah, but that
And it's
trailer
still
never
hype
gets
every
old.
time.
still
It's
hype.
I never
oh my
thought-
God.
I never thought they would be able to top the Dark Knight, and that's still yet to be seen. but the Batman does look very promising in that same realm. I'm not saying it's going to be better than the Dark Knight,
But it
but
looks
if they
very
do a
good.
really good trilogy off of this or continuation, however they want to do it, this could be better than the Christopher Nolan movies as a whole. You know what I mean? Like this saga, because I really like the dark aspect, because that's, in my opinion, that's what DC needs to focus on, is the dark space of DC, because they have some horrifying stories actually in their universe, and
Like,
you
can
see
you
it all.
imagine like a Clayface movie in that same vein? The fucking body
Yeah.
horror.
Yeah,
Bro.
like straight up, like the animated movies are brutal. They are brutal. And like we had Keanu Reeves come out again saying, "Hey, I want to reprise my role as John Constantine." Like, dude, they could easily go the horror route with
Yeah.
it. They easily could.
Anyways,
Yeah. Anyways, Tencent acquires Back for Blood developer Turtle Rock Studios. So this came out in a press release sent out. A press release sent out notes that Turtle Rock will become part of Tencent, though the studio will retain its independent operations in Lake Forest, California, with the existing team continuing to, quote, run all studio operations, end quote. The press release also confirms that Turtle Rock co-founders Phil Robb and Chris Ashton will continue to lead the studio following the acquisition. Additionally, a spokesperson told IGN in an email confirming that Turtle Rock's partnership with Warner Brothers to publish Back for Blood is not affected by the recent acquisition. I mean, cool. I haven't, like I was talking to you guys about it earlier. I haven't seen Tencent really do anything outside of the mobile gaming space when it comes to publishing, but there is that promising game, at least to me. It's a horror game. Xander would be terrified to play it, called Callisto Protocol, which is the original development team behind Dead Space as well. So we already know that they're getting into the AAA market of gaming. So my question to you guys, do you think they're just going to continue the Back for Blood / Left 4 Dead formula and just make more content for Back for Blood, or make a different game after that? New IP? What do you guys think?
more money, better game. That's the equation.
Yeah.
Period.
Tencent does have more money than Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
Honestly,
a
they
lot
really do.
of money.
Yep. Yeah.
the-
Tencent's one of the biggest publishers out there, and people just not everybody knows that. They own a lot of company. They own
a lot of companies.
they own Bluehole, which is behind PUBG.
Love me some Blue Hole.
Yeah, I know. Funny, you know.
What can I say? I'm here all week, y'all. I'm here all week. Let's go.
No, he's not.
I hate it here.
He has to
I'm
work.
not.
He has to work. But yeah, no, it'd be interesting. Like I said, the part that's really going to solidify this being a good thing for Turtle Rock is to see how they handle Callisto Protocol, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I saw the trailer for that, and bro, I'll watch you play it.
Yeah. I mean, it's Dead Space. It's legit just Dead Space.
I think it looks way worse than Dead Space. That shit looks.
It's just because it's
terrifying.
modern technology.
Fair.
You should play Dead
Fair.
Space 2. You should just go
Hell no.
Yeah, you
It's
should.
great.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah,
Sorry,
dude. It's one of the best like survival horror action shooters of like our generation, in my opinion.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have some breaking news. Spider-Man 4 may already be in development based on new interview with Sony and Marvel execs. This comes from Adam Bankhurst over at IGN. Spider-Man producers Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige have shared more about the development of Spider-Man No Way Home and teased that Disney, Marvel, and Sony are, quote, actively beginning to develop, end quote, Spidey's next story, which just may end up being Spider-Man 4.
Yeah.
Let's fucking
It's
go.
I'm stoked. It's just so funny, like just like knowing the conversations that they have had and the reporting that the media has done between Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal, and just like knowing that like they actually argue over this stuff a lot. It's
All the
just
time.
like, I know, it's just funny to like just think about the two of them just like borderline yell match at each other for the content that's in Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Included.
Right,
Because
right.
because we do know that they've had those yelling matches because it's been reported on. You know what I mean? So
Right,
it's just
right,
I
right.
just I don't know. I just
Yeah.
think it's funny. It's like every time I hear their names together. I mean, I'm glad that they are able to compromise and make things work, you know.
Yeah.
But
Without her
it's
throwing a sandwich at him, yeah.
again.
Yeah, again, yeah, exactly.
It's why
I think it's hilarious to keep that in the back of your head, and then you see both of them at like a press interview,
Yeah,
just sitting
yeah.
next to each other, being all smiley and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like,
threw a
yeah.
sandwich at your bitch ass.
Yeah.
like,
Anyways,
Yeah.
that was Little
I-
Wings. 'Cause,
Dude, I'm stoked. Especially after last night, you know.
Ooh, let's
Mhm.
go. Ooh, let's go.
Speaking of,
Speaking
of,
guys, speaking
Yeah.
of, we are going to move. I need your help, Xander. I need your help, Xander. Okay, all right, because the noise is not working. I need you to do a little jingle for us as we go into the Gallows, Xander. There we go. Thank you, my friend. That's exactly what it sounds like.
Gallows.
That's exactly what it sounds like. Wah, wah, wah.
Dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Dum-dum-dum. Gallows.
Genesee, I'm so sorry.
Someone save me, please.
Spider-Man No Way Home spoiler-free review. We're not going to spoil anything for any of y'all listening or watching at home. We're going to do spoilers in our post-show.
Devin, contain yourself.
So if you would like access to our post-show after we are done recording today, you can head on over to patreon.com/Good Kraken Show, where tomorrow morning, when this episode goes live for early access, you can listen to the spoiler post-show there. But for now, guys, Spider-Man No Way Home, released December 17th, 2021, directed by John Watts with a budget of $200 million. We have a box office so far of $120 million, projecting for a $250 million first weekend. Now, fun fact, this is not including the pre-showings sales, in which they have already broken $200 million in pre-showings.
That's wild.
Including night one with Friday night. God damn, this movie's good.
Wild to me.
Whew, son. Runtime of 2 hours and 28 minutes. We got some fun facts for you guys. First off, Willem Dafoe would only agree to reprise his role as the Green Goblin on the one condition that he still be allowed to perform the majority of his own stunts like he did in the 2002 Spider-Man movie. So he did a little bit of an interview thing that's kind of went around on Twitter for a little bit the other day, where he talks about how, like, yeah, like I wanted to do this role, but I told them, like, I want to do it because that's the only way it's going to feel authentic. And goddamn, Willem Dafoe, you fucking angel. You fucking angel of a man, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So in the chat, here we are. And here we have Devin as Tom and Xander as Zendaya. if not trying to spill. That's fair. Yeah, you guys are gonna fuck up. I can feel it. Next up, this film marks the first MCU trilogy to be directed by the same director, John Watts. All previous film franchises, such as Iron Man, Avengers, and Captain America, had only two consistent directors throughout their respective trilogies. John Watts, man.
You want to know something also cool about John Watts? He is directing the Fantastic Four movie that is in pre-production right now.
Yep.
And little fun music fact, he directed the Soul Meets Body music video for Death Cab for Cutie.
Oh, I did not know that. That's pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah.
Exciting.
Pretty cool.
He's a multi-talented director.
Did you know that he also he saves little children?
He's also subscribed to patreon.com/Good Kraken
He
Show.
is. Yeah, it's proven.
And
It's
that
fact,
slash is a definitive /. Just so people know.
Yes,
not
yes,
backslash,
right,
forward
of
slash.
course,
Right,
of course,
right,
because
right,
because
right,
nobody
right.
uses backslashes for fucking anything. But sure.
Unless you're encoding.
Yeah.
You don't fucking use backslashes, Ernell? What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm
Do you
always,
use
I'm
a
always
computer?
Be more creative with your text
patreon.com/ Good Kraken Show.
I hate this. I hate this so much. Esco says, I'm getting ready to go out, so I'll be lurking while I blow dry my hair. Love you, losers. We love you too, Esco. We love you
Love you,
too. Let's
Esco.
fucking go. Because Sony has the rights to Spider-Man. Disney and Sony had originally reached a deal for Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home, whereby Marvel produced these movies for Sony under the Marvel Cinematic Universe banner. Sony kept full financial, distributive, and creative control, while Disney received merchandising rights and a small percentage of the gross box office. However, in August 2019, Sony wanted to expand the deal with Disney under the original terms, which led to Disney exerting its right to back out of the next Spider-Man film. Sony, which had done well with Venom and especially Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, then announced that they would continue making the film within their own cinematic universe, outside of the MCU. However, due to negative fan reaction and after intervention of star Tom Holland, a new deal was eventually reached, with Disney investing into the film's budget in exchange for a higher box office percentage and the movie remaining in the MCU.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank goodness. All we wanted.
You know,
All
Tom
of all things
Holland
holy.
had to do to Sony what he does in the movie.
We're
You have
not.
to
Let's
convince
yeah.
I think we can say that.
We're down. Simmer
I'm
down.
worried about me. Jesus
I
Christ,
never
Devin.
said who. I never said who.
Simmer
You're
down.
about
Never
to
said
show
why.
me up.
God damn,
You're
you really
about
are
to-
Tom Holland today. How
You're
was
about to
Surreal
show me up
spot
for the Tom
on?
Holland of the group.
God damn
never,
it.
I never spoiled anything.
I'm supposed to be the Tom Holland. I'm the one out here accidentally Eternal group. I'm the one out here being the youngest. I'm supposed to be Tom Holland, Devin.
I
On.
didn't spoil shit.
On.
You're getting close. You're getting close.
February
You're getting very close. And it's a
23rd.
little close for
Edging.
comfort.
On
Shh.
February 23rd, 2021, Tom Holland, Jacob Batalon, and Zendaya all posted images from the film along with 3 different titles on Instagram. Tom Holland's post titled it Spider-Man Phone Home. Jacob Batalon's post titled Spider-Man Home Wrecker. Zendaya's post titled it Spider-Man Home Slice. All the titles kept the use of the word home from the previous movies, obviously. The next day, a video with the 3 actors was released, showing Tom Holland walking out of director John Watt's office, thinking he gave them another fake title. As they walk out, the official title was revealed on a whiteboard to be Spider-Man No Way Home, along with various titles that they were thinking of.
Yep.
Yep. That title
I
worked
loved that.
very
It
well.
was very cute. Yeah.
love
and
that.
and I love how it is like a conclusion to the Home trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
yeah.
Earlier drafts of the film was very much different than the finished product. The script primarily focused, on Peter's galactic adventures with a character based on space. However, that storyline was dropped in favor of setting up Secret Invasion 2022, and a completely new script was written after the new deal between Sony and Disney in 2019, focusing on the multiverse. Surreal's
Thank
cracking
God.
up at home.
Thank God. Yeah.
you
Bro,
imagine? That would be-
imagine.
I actually
Yeah.
also heard that the entire time the script was undergoing rewrites as they were filming.
Yeah.
Like,
I've heard that about
they
a
had to
lot of
do-
recent Marvel productions.
yeah.
They had to do like 6 weeks of reshooting, didn't they?
hmm
yeah, they
and
did.
they had to
There's-
do the same for Doctor Strange as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they're having
And
all
also
sorts of
Tom
issues
Holland.
with Black Widow. Or not Black Jesus Christ, Black Panther.
Well, the
but
interesting
also-
about Doctor Strange, come to find out as I was kind of looking over some of these fun fact things, the reshoots for Doctor Strange were actually more focused on cameo stuff. Fun fact. Yeah, the whole, let's go.
But also, I
Let's
heard that Tom Holland had a heavy hand on how the script went towards the end. Like, as they're going by, like he actually had a hand in like, oh, we should do it like this. Let's have it this way. And then they're like, all right, bet, do it like that.
That's so cool.
I've got a hand in, you know what I'm saying?
It's really cool knowing that Tom Holland actually has a not only just being the character, but had a big part with production as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like making this movie happen. Like he went to Sony execs. It's like this needs to happen. You know?
Yeah.
This isn't what the fans want. We need to give the fans what they want.
Yeah.
Sure ain't. Goddamn.
I think it's exciting for him and for us in so many ways because Spider-Man was his first major role. So like getting to see him grow as like
What, you
very
didn't like
much,
In the Heart of the Sea?
very much like being
Get the fuck out of here.
moving on. Very much like being that like youngest like Avenger kid who was out here like spoiling all the movies and interviews and like not really being taken seriously to now like really upping his game in terms of his performance and the way he's approaching it. I think is really fucking cool.
Another thing fans wanted, J.K. Simmons had enjoyed playing J. Jonah Jameson in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy and admitted to being heartbroken that he wouldn't be able to revisit the character in a fourth movie. Naturally, when Marvel approached him to reprise his role in Spider-Man Far From Home's Stinger and this film, he jumped at the chance. Simmons also expressed excitement in adapting Jameson to the modern-day era, describing him more as a media blowhard than a newspaper editor.
Yeah.
They did. I every time I see him, just like Alex Jones. That's all I can think of.
That's exactly what he was channeling.
Yeah.
You know for a fact.
Yeah. When he's like, I don't actually. Never mind.
You motherfucker!
Devin woke up today
Bro.
and said, "I'm stripping Genesee of her title."
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Devin, what
what's up, dude?
were your top level thoughts of Spider-Man No Way
Keep
Home?
it mild.
Whoa, all right.
I've got a
Keep it
sniper
mild.
trained on
He's
your
good.
ass
He's
right
good.
now,
He's
dude.
good. He's good. I trust him. I trust
You
him.
can
He's
do
good.
this.
I
believe
stopped
in you,
myself before I
honey.
said what I was about to say.
I believe in you. You got this.
Okay.
We can get through this episode.
First of all,
Just ignore the
This has-
red laser light.
this has to be one of the most fun Marvel movies I've ever seen. Like straight up. Like this movie was fun. They channeled a lot of the comedy aspect that we've seen in previous, Spider-Man movies, of especially with just the trio of characters, and just their interactions and the way that everything was going about. The amount of Easter eggs in this movie, amazing, and callbacks to other movies, and even comic books, just fantastic. We can get into that later. I felt like they did a really good job showing the progression of Tom and MJ's relationship as well. Moving forward, it was really nice seeing that. And dude, it's so hard not to spoil it because it's so exciting.
Talk about the movie itself. Talk
Oh
about the
yeah,
movie itself.
oh yeah. So Willem Dafoe, great job. Did not skip a beat, honestly. It was like I just watched the Spider-Man movies not too long ago, and Willem Dafoe played his character exactly how he played it in the first Sam Raimi movie. Fantastic, great job with him. Oh, dude, I just want to. The action is great. I noticed there wasn't like a lot of quick cutscenes in the fights in this movie compared to the other ones. So I noticed that the fighting was shot a little bit differently. It was a lot of almost like single frame following in a lot of the events. If you guys notice that, instead of like quick action cuts, which we know that has been a complaint in the past from a lot of other viewers and stuff. Not saying not to the point where a movie's bad, but I've definitely heard people say that it's one thing they don't like about some of the Marvel movies is how quick cut the action can be. So that was really cool to see. The special effects are on a whole nother level. This next phase moving forward with the multiverse and everything, it's going to be wild. It's going to be freaking wild. And if there's anything that they proved with this movie, Marvel can do whatever the fuck they want right now. Literally anything. So it's just getting really exciting moving forward. Overall, the character development was great. The conclusion was spot on. I had high expectations for this movie, and not a single thing was shattered about it. I loved it from start to finish. It had a great character arc, great ending, great beginning, great everything. I will give this movie a straight up 10 out of 10. This is some of the best Marvel content that we've had since Endgame, and it's going to be interesting to see where they go from here to try and stay on that level with all the upcoming movies.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Um, Xander, what were your top level thoughts on Spider-Man No Way Home?
So it was I, you know. No,
All right, that's the end of the
this
show. We'll see you guys
no.
next time.
No, Spider-Man No Way Home, it was absolutely 110% a love letter to Marvel fans everywhere. This movie, it's filled to the brim with Easter eggs that even like viewers that are as eagle-eyed as I claim to be, I am gushing with anticipation to be able to rewatch this and like try and like just like pause it and like just dissect it, because there's so much going on that like it could. Marvel's no stranger to having a lot of little things in their films where like, oh, that could play up in like a film like 5 years from now. That's the kind of thing that I'm trying to pick at, especially when you're dealing with something as massive as the multiverse. There could be clues everywhere. But no, like, just to leave it as a love letter would be an injustice to the actual film itself. It's a great fucking movie, like just like from start to finish. Like just just more character development to characters that we've been seeing for the last some odd years. Uh, to this point, it's just incredible to see, especially like with some of the more hard hitting moments in this film. You really see them develop as not just characters but actors as well. And they're really being more fleshed out in this film. Um, but yeah, it's just like an absolute roller coaster of emotions watching this, especially as someone like I remember seeing Willem Dafoe's Norman Osborn turning into the Green Goblin for the first time in theaters as a kid, and now he's going toe to toe with our current running Spider-Man. Like that was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing. It's just I would also follow up. It's definitely a 10 out of 10.
All right. Genesee, what are your top level thoughts on No Way Home?
I loved it. I mean, this movie, it didn't skip a beat. And I think going into it, we were all a bit concerned because of like looking at that trailer, like we had so many conversations of being like, how are they going to fit all of this in? Like we knew they were going to have so many villains. Like how are they going to fit this into a 2.5 hour movie? And they did it seamlessly. I mean, it was incredibly impressive how clean the storyline was, given everything that they were balancing of like really diving into the multiverse for like this was the first time movie wise that we were really diving into what the multiverse would mean on our big screen. And it was very, very well done. By the time that like the end was coming and like you could tell that that was the end, like they couldn't do anything else, I was like, this has not been 2.5 hours. I didn't even have to take a bathroom break because I was glued to my seat the whole time. Like I just like couldn't process anything other than the movie. Like it was completely captivating. And like overall, like I think that the movie progressed perfectly, not just in terms of like how they handled the plot, but in terms of character growth, absolutely what Xander's talking about, actor growth, and also like just over the course of this one movie, they are really taking a new take on like what it means to have a hero film. And I think that's entirely what the fourth phase of the MCU has been, is redefining what it means to have to have an MCU movie. Like what does it mean to make superhero movies? Marvel is challenging that. They're challenging their own standards for creating superhero movies. And this is just the latest in a series of Marvel productions that are absolutely pushing the bounds of what it means to create this content. I firmly believe that Spider-Man No Way Home is like, it's really just like putting I mean, we had Shang-Chi, which was just a phenomenal movie. And now, I think with Shang-Chi, it was kind of like, whoa, this is different. This is so different. And Eternals was phenomenal. And now we're coming into No Way Home. And MCU is not just making good superhero movies. I mean, they have been like the epitome of what it means to create superhero movies. Now they're like, fuck you, we also make bomb ass movies, period. They're really trying to pull in people who have not been MCU fans in the past, and they're doing it. I think that this next phase, we're going to see a whole new stream of fans coming in because they're pushing the bounds of what it means to enjoy superhero films.
Yeah. I think you guys fucking nailed it, dude. Genesee, before I start on, what are you going to rate this movie?
Oh fuck, 10 out of 10, hands down. And I was sitting there watching it, and we were like 3/4 of the way through, and I was like, this is a 10 out of 10 movie. Like, normally I feel like you feel that afterwards, but I'm sitting there in the theater, I'm like, this is a 10 out of 10. It's so good.
Yeah. Fucking wow, guys. Wow. This movie is an achievement, dude. Like, I cannot believe how just absolutely out of this world, no pun intended, out of this world this fucking movie is. Oh my god, man. This movie handles so many things right. And Devin knows, like, I've spent the past year that we've been doing this talking about all my hesitancies with this movie potentially. Just like the fact that they were trying to take on what Amazing Spider-Man 2 was trying to do, and they fucking nailed it. They gave us this just super ambitious project and said we're going to figure out how to do this the correct way. And they nailed it in every possible way imaginable. I couldn't believe it, dude. Genesee's right. Like, this movie is the third longest Marvel movie that we have, and not a single moment of this movie is wasted at all.
Nope.
Like there's a lot of dialogue in this movie that, like, in any other situation would have felt like too much, too empty. And this, every single moment has a purpose. And because of such, that 2 hours and like that 2.5 hours flew by. I wanted more. I wanted another half an hour because we got done and I was like, holy shit, like, it does not feel like it's fucking 1 o'clock in the morning right now. Like,
it didn't. I was wired. I was like, oh
my god, it all of it flew by so fucking fast. And me and Devin were just like over here on our side of the little, like, box thing that was between our little group, and like me and Devin were just like, dude, oh my god. And I could just feel it. Like, the amount of times I fucking cried watching this movie, guys, I have not, like, Endgame was the only other movie that had me as emotionally messed up at this level. And honestly, I think this one had me more emotionally messed up more consistently than Endgame even did. Because Endgame kind of just had a couple, like, big moments that was like, fuck my heart. But this one was like a rolling, heart-wrenching experience throughout the entirety of the course of the movie. And goddamn, dude. God damn, is this movie good? I cannot believe that they pulled this off the way that they did, man. Like
especially like the.
Sorry,
I was gonna say like the underlying theme.
No, go ahead, Xander, go ahead.
Oh no, because like the underlying theme of like redemption and second chances throughout this entire film, like that really pulled at me. Like, just like the fact that, like, the whole premise of this whole thing is so that, like, they're trying to
well, hold on to that thought.
I know what you're trying to say.
Hold on to that thought anyways, because I do want us to kind of, like, dig a little bit deeper here in a second. But Surreal says y'all had a life experience. Honestly, like,
honestly, yeah,
it was. It really fucking was. Like, because here's the deal. This movie does such an absolute, like, unreal good job of tying up a lot of, like, loose ends that we had over the course of the past 20 years of watching Marvel content. Not just the MCU, but, like, having these villains from the original Spider-Man movies and giving us like a sort of cathartic, like, closure to these characters
Mhm.
means so much to me as someone that was watching, like Xander said, watching the Sam Raimi movies in theaters when I was a kid, and falling in love with Andrew Garfield's like Spider-Man movies back in the day. Like this movie does such a good job of giving us closure on those villains and making us feel like there was more of a purpose for these villains than just being sloppy in the original movies.
Yep. And not to mention just like the redemption of the look and the quality of the villain as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and and
Yeah.
like the writing around them and like their interactions
Mhm.
with each other. I cannot believe they gave us interactions with these villains together in ways that just felt so good. Oh my
So
god, I
good.
fucking love this
Yeah.
movie, dude. Anyways, this movie's absolutely fucking 10 out of 10. I I almost think this. I would argue that this movie is probably better than fucking Endgame. Like,
Yes.
like these two are like they're at
Hands
some sort of
down.
They're
level
pretty
that is
close.
just they're like I could go either or, but both are just they're playing at a level that like no other movie really is able to play at, because
I
like
have an argument for why I believe this movie is better than Endgame, but we'll save that for when
yeah,
we get
we'll
into
we'll,
deep
we'll get there in
levels last.
just a quick second. Yeah, it just Ernell does go I coom. Yes, absolutely yes. Go give me that nut button in the chat.
I-
Yes. God,
So-
dude. God.
So, as of right now, after a full day of opening, Spider-Man No Way Home is 94% on the tomato meter and 99% on the audience score. And that is with
That's
over
insane.
and that's with over 10,000 plus verified ratings and over 270 critic reviews.
Superhero movies don't get that shit.
Mm-mm.
Superhero
Ever.
movies do not get
Ever.
94% critic rating.
Ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
let
it
that
just-
sink in.
Incredible, dude. And like this if there's any goddamn Marvel movie that deserves it, it's this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was
Absolutely.
artistically done. But also, I want to say, like, someone in the chat was saying that we had an experience. And I think that that's something really interesting that's kind of lining up. I think being someone who loves movies and loves media and like uses that to like kind of relate to life a lot, I think it's very cool when you experience films that are playing on themes similar to what you're going through, right? We all love that. We all love to be seen by the media that we watch. And something really unique about what's happening to you that they didn't plan for this, but in 2018 they made a choice to have like this divide that we're calling the blip, right? So half of the universe disappeared, and so the entire world is going through this trauma together in the MCU. And at the same time that that's coming to a head, like after we have Endgame happen, very shortly after that, we experience the pandemic. And as a society, we're experiencing a big shift in this kind of, we have a very distinct before and after as a society where we're like finally getting to a point where we're able to go back somewhat safely into the movie theaters and like into being in community with each other and having the holidays together. And I think seeing, like, I've been feeling this as we watch Hawkeye too, like having Hawkeye like be reunited with his family is such a bit, like, the whole theme of that show is, I think, very poignant for us, like having experienced the pandemic. And so I think like going into the movie theaters last night with our whole group of folks and like this being like one of the first like major releases that we're all able to sit together and watch and have like a true Marvel experience. Like, it's not a Marvel premiere if you don't have an entire theater of people like gasping and clapping and screaming in unison,
Laughing.
like laughing. Like, I mean, it's Marvel premieres are one of the most incredible experiences like that I experience every time. Watching fucking Infinity War premiere,
Dude.
Goddamn.
unreal.
Goddamn.
Bring
me
Thanos! Fuck yeah!
It was I mean, it was insane. And I felt very similar last night. Like, there's just like an energy in the theater where we're all like, it's incredible. So it absolutely was an experience, and I think it's so interesting watching these movies because in a lot of ways these characters are experiencing similar things that we are and like going back to life with each other. It's fucking insane. Anyway.
Call back to the Infinity War moment. Just the moment that Thor shows up on the battlefield.
Oh
in Wakanda.
boy,
Yes.
people went
And-
off, dog.
Screaming.
Yeah, the moment that he shows up, and then like Mark Ruffalo is just like,
Dude.
"Oh, you guys
you're
are gonna
so
get it
screwed
now. You guys are so
Dude,
screwed."
I will say that is probably the first and only time actually in movie theater history that me personally I leapt from my seat and just like fuck yeah, and like in unison everyone else was doing the same shit.
Yeah, dude.
Like it turned into a goddamn stadium. That's what happened. And the home team just scored a goal. Like that's how that was.
Now to kick us off here to kind of send us into more of a like in-depth explanation of our top level thoughts here. I think the thing that shines out the most in this movie is the way that they wrote character relationships in this, and more importantly, how they wrote Tom Holland's personality in this movie. Because the first third of this movie kind of plays a sort of like a light hero comedy, like light MCU sort of like style comedy, and then it gets like the second act and things start getting a little bit more serious, like.
Yeah.
And then by the time you get to the third act, things are hitting really fucking heavy.
Destroyed.
And Tom Holland is just absolutely extravagant playing this fucking role in this movie, because they gave us such a range of emotions with Tom Holland playing as Peter Parker in this movie that we just have not really like seen very much of. One of the and that kind of goes to one of the things that I was talking about in a couple episodes ago. I mentioned how one of my biggest like worries about, or like biggest asks for this movie, is in prior Spider-Man content, like in our current MCU. I mean, we haven't really gotten a Tom Holland Spider-Man that is just a genuine like just Spider-Man experience. Because most of the time it's somehow attached like the greater MCU universe, and whether it's because Tony Stark is there and he has something to do with the Avengers,
Or Nick Fury,
or like there's some sort of like deeper attachment of Tom Holland Spider-Man with the Avengers and all of the other content that he's in, and so having this movie be sort of the first time that we get a down to earth just solo Spider-Man experience that has very little to do with the extra stuff of the MCU until some certain things, but I'm not going to go there. But there's a lot here that they do so perfectly, not just as a movie, but as a Spider-Man movie. And that was the part that made me appreciate this so much more, is that just like it gave me the same feelings of seeing Sam Raimi's Spider-Man for the first time. Like seeing Spider-Man on a big movie screen for the first time, be like, this is real. This is a real fucking thing. And Tom Holland fills those shoes so well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ernell, what is your rating of this movie?
100% like 10 out of 10. Like if I could give it a fucking 50 out of 10, I would, dude. Like this movie is just unreal. Unfucking real. The ethereal, just astral experience that was this movie. I could not believe it, dude. I cannot believe it. I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. Like I know that like we talked like big game about like Dune earlier this year. This movie plays at a level that not even Dune can fucking touch, dude.
This is like tenfold of what Dune is.
I can't believe it.
Stomped on Dune's face and said, "You are my bitch. I own you."
Spider-Man was stepping on Dune's neck when they said that.
Yeah.
Like no, and just to like sum this all up too, and to add on to this, our very own Garrick Eakin has also provided a review and was lucky enough to see it Thursday night, and I got this pulled up for you guys right now.
Thank you, Devin. Thank you.
So this is for Spider-Man's No Way Home, and this is how he starts. First off, don't spoil this movie for anybody, and that is a message to everybody out there.
Big alert. Do
not spoil
this
this movie. Just don't. It's a love letter to the fans. Spider-Man was Stan Lee's favorite hero, and he would have absolutely loved what was created here. Spider-Man also happens to be mine and my wife's favorite hero as well. We both cried. It had a lot of moments for us as fans that are just too awesome for words right now. If this is the true potential of the multiverse in phase 4 and beyond, are going to be a feast beyond measured, and it proves the MCU still has so much to offer viewers. Tom Holland stepped it up. Everyone stepped it up. Humor, heart, and grit from start to finish. There is simply too much to spoil if I go on. This is only the beginning for Spider-Man. See this movie 10 out of 10.
This movie gets the official very first 10 out of 10, 100% fucking rating from us.
Yep.
God damn, this movie is fucking good, y'all. I cannot believe that Marvel pulled this the fuck off. Like I don't think I've seen what I would feel is a 10 out of 10 Marvel movie since like arguably Infinity War. Like arguably, because Infinity War and like Endgame are sort of like these two that sort of like coincide, right? Like they both like there's arguments to be made that they're both sort of like 9.5, 10 out of 10, and they both, you know, have some flaws or whatever. This one just, goddamn, dude, like the pace is perfect, the character writing's perfect, the story writing is perfect, the dynamics are perfect. Like I can't think, like the only caveat that I have with this movie at all is that some of the set pieces felt a little disjointed, and that's it. And like even then, it's like not even bad enough for me to say that that's really like noticeable. You know, like the only reason it was noticeable to me is because we have to analyze these movies from a critical perspective. And when I was looking at everything, I was like, okay, well that set piece kind of looks a little like not quite in place with everything else here. But fucking fuck, man. Like like everything fucking fuck. Like this movie is just like, give me 3 clicks on the fuck counter, y'all, because this movie is just out of this damn world, dude. I can't believe I was just telling my sister the other day, like, if this movie bops, we're seeing it ASAP. Like, I'm going to see this movie in theaters numerous times. We're going to be thinking about this movie for years to come because this movie is that level of good. Yes, surreal. Fuckity fuck. It's this. Oh my God, dude. I'm going to go see this movie again, probably like tomorrow, honestly. Like I'm gonna bring my mom. I'm gonna bring my sister. I'm gonna take my fucking kid with me. Like everybody is gonna see this goddamn movie with me. I don't give a shit. Xander, come over here. Come here, baby. Let's go. Get your ass over here.
Let's go.
Genesee, you're muted.
I do want to. I want to.
God damn it!
Fuckity fuck.
Fuckity fuck. I do that every time. I hate it,
dude.
I do want to backtrack real quick to the Dune comment.
Yeah.
I find that funny that you guys say that because in a recent interview, Tom Holland has said he wants Timothée Chalamet to come in as Harry Osborn in a future film.
Oh my God. That would slap so hard. Oh my God.
Imagine and the little trifecta with Zendaya.
because Timothy and her are best friends and she's dating Tom.
Yeah, and think about it this way: what if Harry Osborn does come into the Spider-Man films, and what if they start dating just like in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2?
Homewrecker. Let's go. We need it now. Dog.
You heard it here first, folks.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, that's fucking hilarious. I think Timothée Chalamet would kill it in the MCU. Honestly, he kill it. He showed us he has fucking chops in Dune. I would absolutely
talented.
Yeah,
he's very talented. Yeah. People like to talk shit on Timothée Chalamet for some reason. I don't know. I think it's that whole thing. Like people like.
He would be a good hobgoblin.
Yeah,
he would be a good hobgoblin. Yeah,
that's
why we need him as Harry Osborn. Do that again. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now I do want to make sure, because we put a lot of focus on Spider-Man himself. Doctor Strange. Everything that would do with Doctor Strange in this was fucking ill. ill,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Kim Jong, dog, like this, like everything with
Oh,
Doctor Strange.
hold on. No, we're not doing that. No.
Well, like the name,
You know
the
what's funny?
name, not
There's-
like
there's-
not
that's
like
not
him as a
that's
person.
not a good thing.
You know what's funny? There is a food cart that actually makes bomb food here in Portland, and it's called Kim Jong Grillin'.
Well, okay, now
Yeah.
now granted though, Kim Jong's just a name. It's just because we're affiliated
Right.
with.
Right,
We're not
Kim
affiliated.
Jong,
No, we're not
yeah.
affiliated, but because because we know
Fuck Ernell.
We associate Kim Jong.
we associate the name with.
Got my head out. What's up?
Here we go. Yeah, Xander had to snap. Xander had to snap us out. Yep. All right. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how to remove myself without leaving the call. So I'm sorry.
Well, it's just me and you here, Genesee. Oh no, there he goes. He's back. There you go.
I love it.
I lost my track. No, Doctor Strange. Vandal Ernell. I don't feel so good. I don't want to go, Mr. Pearson. I don't want to. Anyways, yeah, Doctor Strange being in this movie as sort of like a overlooking presence over everything that is happening in the story. I was a little bit worried about like how they would handle that, and oh, dude, they fucking nailed it with the relationship between Tom Holland's Peter Parker and Doctor Strange, and like how that builds together. And they found a way to make it mean something to the point where, dog, like damn near open mouth sobbing during some points in this fucking movie that have to do with either Tom Holland or Doctor Strange or both. And like, it just, I can't, dude.
I do also want to mention like how we see in the trailer where they have that box or whatever.
Yeah.
And Doctor Strange explains to them that they need to go back and, face their fate. And he's like, I'm sorry. And then Peter's like, yeah, so am I. And takes the box from him. Like that solidified for me that finally, because my biggest issue with MCU Spider-Man up to this point was he always felt very dependent on someone else, like some sort of mentor figure. Mm-hmm. And people would argue that, there are moments where he proves that he can be Spider-Man. Like in the first film, Homecoming, that whole last fight with Vulture where he doesn't have the Stark suit and stuff like that, and he proves that he can still be Spider-Man, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, but still, a lot of it was because Daddy stripped away his fucking toy. Like, and I just didn't like that. But like this time around, it was finally like, yes, he is Spider-Man without anyone's fucking help. Mm-hmm. Like he is fucking Spider-Man.
See you later, Esco.
He's not literally fucking Spider-Man. He is Spider. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Anywho, I think that's something that's really interesting about that. Like for me, like I've loved Tom Holland as Spider-Man from the beginning. As soon as they cast him and released the trailer, I was on fucking board, because one of my like biggest critiques from the previous two versions of Spider-Man is that they went into it making him very mature. I mean, it was at the time in Hollywood when they were 30-year-olds to play 15-year-olds, and it was just fucking ridiculous.
That's been my biggest complaint about Hollywood.
Yeah. It's very frustrating. It's like, I'm sorry, but there are like teenagers, or at least like younger people who can play teenagers and do it competently. And I think that's a really exciting thing that we're seeing now in Hollywood, is we're seeing younger people being called in to take up the mantle and reprise very important roles. But Tom Holland, I was very stoked to get a more immature Spider-Man, because that is who he's supposed to be. In the comics, by and large, he is a kid. He's a teenager who comes in and is given so much power, and a lot of times like crushes under it before he like comes up and kicks ass. And I think that's what makes his successes so much more exciting, is that you have a contrast of him having to get there. And this movie really did that, like he's been working up through each of his.
Sorry, you were cutting out again for a quick second.
Could you do me a favor?
Okay.
Yes.
Turn the gain up on your microphone. Just
No,
a
don't.
little.
No. Oh, well, yeah, don't do that because you're just turn her up on your end. If you're needing to hear,
It might be a threshold issue.
I think it's a threshold issue. Yeah, there's in Discord. We'll walk you through it after the show. It's not a huge deal.
Okay.
Just move your microphone a little bit closer to you for now.
Okay.
There you go.
Is that
There
better?
you go. All right, yeah,
Alright,
let's try that. Let's try that and see if that works a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah, continue though. Sorry.
Yeah, but they did a phenomenal job through each movie, really showing his growth. And I think that's something with the newer movies that really sets them apart, and which is why I really firmly would make an argument for this being better than Endgame, because something that Endgame did not have going for it is the focus of the first 3 phases. It was not emotional. It did not have to do with like a heavy pull of emotion and character development. It had a lot to do with like, you were really just like, you were there to see the characters do something. You know, you were there to see Tony Stark do a thing, and you wanted to see Tony Stark get to a certain place, and you wanted to see, you know, like Captain America get to a certain place. In this, like we're already in phase 4. I mean, phase 4 just fucking started, and we already have so many pieces of content. WandaVision came out the gate destroying our hearts and souls. Like, then we have fucking Falcon and the Winter Soldier with, I don't think anybody went into Falcon and the Winter Soldier with big hopes for that, and they destroyed us. I mean, just over and over, Marvel is like, please hand us your hearts so that we can crumple them, and you're gonna love it. And I do every single fucking time. And Spider-Man No Way Home really honed in on the relationships. I mean, between Tom and us, like between his Spider-Man and us, between his Spider-Man and the other characters, between the villains and each other. I mean, it was incredible, the emotions that they were, and the emotions that they evoked in, like, I mean, talking about this as a piece of media, like, I think it's important to talk about how they conveyed this stuff, because they didn't just do it through dialogue. They did it visually. They did it, like, aesthetically. Like, this movie was absolutely an experience. I mean, they did so many things that they just conveyed. Like, they didn't even have to say anything. And I mean, I can't give an example because it's a huge fucking spoiler, but there were so many times throughout this movie where you're watching it and you physically and emotionally feeling things, and like you're seeing things happen on the camera aren't explaining to you, and they don't need to, because they did it so well. The cinematography in this film, like, truly was very well done. I think Xander was talking about it earlier when he was talking, or maybe it was Devin, when you were talking about they didn't split the screens. I mean, that's a really big part of it. Like, these fight scenes were seamless. These parts where they're showing different characters' abilities were seamless. The emotion that Tom Holland conveyed.
She can't stop thinking about Timothy Chalamet.
I can't. I love him.
Tom Chalamet.
I'm a whore
Tom
for
Chalamet,
these
yeah.
skinny little white boys, and it's terrible.
There's the
Anywho.
kryptonite.
Yeah, there it is. We've talked about our weaknesses before. That's Genesis. Let's go.
Tom Holland did such an incredible job of showing the power of Spider-Man in his face, in his movements, in everything he was doing in this fucking film. It was,
yeah.
I can't like stress enough about, like, people like to get up on their high horse. Oh, you know, especially when he was first cast, about like, oh, well, you know, Tobey Maguire will always be my Spider-Man. And that's fine. You can have your Spider-Man, because Tom Holland is like redefining the game. And part of that is just because, like, when I don't even think it's fair to compare those Spider-Mans, because that time at Hollywood of what they're creating is just an entirely different media than what we're seeing created now, and then what Marvel is doing now, what Tom Holland is doing now. It's game changing.
It was also just kind of like a different, like, type of Spider-Man that they were trying to give us back then, right? So it's like
Mhm.
between like Toby and Andrew Spider-Mans, I would argue that Andrew's Spider-Man was probably the closest to what they're trying to do with Tom's, and I think that that
Mhm.
progression is very obvious if we as we look over the 2 decades of Spider-Man content we had gotten throughout our lives. Like you can see that they were trying to sort of like capitalize on something throughout the course of prior Marvel content to get us to where we are now. And I mean, like, let's be real too here. Like when we got to the end of Infinity War, I'm sure we all knew that they were going to head in that direction and like capitalize on how fucking heart crushing that they were going to be going forward at the from the end of Infinity War up to now. Like you said, every piece of content we've gotten from Marvel so far has had some way just destroyed us emotionally in some way or fucking another. And I like that. I like that they're like not afraid now to go there with us and like take us on this ride that says like this is going to be more than just like a hero comedy, but we also have some of that available to you if you want it. But these actors are so dynamic that we'll be able to have them do that but also do this more serious thing. And that was one of the best parts about this movie specifically. I watched this movie and I've never watched a movie before that had me like crying, and then the very next scene I'm still crying but laughing at the same time, because they did such a good way of balancing like very serious like distraught moments and then following up with it with something that just like was so goofy like afterwards, and it still felt right. It still felt like it was within that universe. Dog, I can't believe it. Anyways, to kind of end off here, I want to ask you guys 2 last questions. One, Devin, who was your favorite villain?
Ooh, it's kind of a toss up for me. It's definitely either Alfred Molina's Doc Ock or
Okay.
Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, and for different reasons though. You know, um, Willem Dafoe just I felt like he was able to repraise his role and continue on Green Goblin and make it even better. You know, more villainous. You know, and Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, I felt like we got a deeper side of Doc Ock in a sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of character development with Doc Ock. You know, like same on the par of continuation of his role. It was just we saw more of him. We saw more of him thinking. We saw more of him saying things and doing things, and like knowing his personality as a character in the greater Spider-Man / MCU universe. You know?
Just being more than just like a bad guy, right?
Exactly,
Like, yeah.
which he is very much a bad guy in Spider-Man 2. Granted, that's my favorite Sam Raimi movie,
Yeah.
but he is very much like grade A typical bad guy. You know, rob bank, attack
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Bad,
Oh,
bad,
I know
bad.
who you
Bad,
I
bad,
know
bad.
who you are. You know
right,
what I mean?
Right.
So, but yeah, it yes. If I'm gonna put it on a villain spot, I'm gonna have to give it to Green Goblin for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Genesee, who's your favorite villain?
I
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
There were really good ones. I actually really did like Otto. I really liked
Yeah.
Octavius in this one.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked him.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that I can fully get into why I liked him without spoiling the shit out of stuff, so I'm not.
sure,
But
sure.
there are some very big things in this movie that I felt made him a very compelling.
Just to be clear too, like all the villains in this movie are so good.
They're so good.
So good. They are
And
so much
better.
more fleshed out like now. Like
Yeah. Way better
like
than the original. What I really like about it too is the fact that they expected everybody to already know the backstories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they didn't have to spend too much time on that. They spent more time just developing from that point.
just
And it
you
was
know.
well executed. It was very well done.
Well, and
Yeah.
I think too, like that was something I forgot to mention too. Like this movie does such a good job of fan servicing in a way that it just like it doesn't fan service just to fan service. It fan services by like capitalizing on what we already know. And that was like one of my biggest appreciations with this movie is like they didn't just like give us like Spider-Man. They gave us 20 years of Spider-Man. And they wrapped it up with a beautiful golden bow right on the top of it and said, "Boom, this is what you wanted for all those 20 years." And God,
that golden bow was made out of the magic rope that Doctor Strange
yeah, exactly.
always uses, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect. Xander, who was your favorite villain?
So I do want to say, Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, for very obvious reasons. That as to what Devin was saying, that his character there's just more. They built more on top of what we already knew about the character. But I do want to say a good runner up was actually Electro for me.
Mm-hmm.
They did wonders on Electro this time around.
They made up for it.
Like
They
made up for just the pretty much any gripe that I had with Electro in the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
They fixed with this.
He was very close
it
for me also.
It was
It
was just wonderfully done.
If I could, and they explained why it worked. They didn't just like make it work and like fit it in. They like had an explanation for why it worked so well, and I appreciated that so much.
Yeah, and the way that they did that had depth for him. Even though he didn't have a super ton of screen time, he was important in the parts he was in, but he had depth, and they dove into it. I felt like they talked about his history almost more than the other villains, if you think about it.
In a weird way, yes, and they use it as a big plot device that like worked like on the overall grand scale of things, because that was something that they kind of do with all the characters, all the villains, right? Like they say like, hey, each villain kind of has a loose. I think I'll get into it later. They do such a good job of sort of like giving the villains an exposition on why they're here, and like what that means for their characters singularly for each one of them. And they did it in a way that just felt like it didn't feel like exposition, because it was realistically there was a lot of exposition in this movie, but like they did it in a way that felt right. And because of such, it didn't just feel like filler conversation. Like there were moments in this movie that
it was fluid and natural.
Things. Yeah, it felt like this movie stands alone really well in a way that makes it like I don't know a better way to phrase this at all. But I guess just to sort of reframe my wording here. The way that they explain these villains being in this movie made sense for the overarching story as a whole. And that was probably like the best part of this movie, was making everything connect, making all the plugs plug in the correct way, and not have it be a huge jumbled mess the way that we saw in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Because that was the biggest issue with that movie, was that they had so much going on. They had no clue how to plug in all those wires without the wires getting tangled. And this movie, basically they said, hey, we're gonna figure it out. We've got to figure it out now. We have the formula now. This is what we're going to do. Fucking brilliant, man. I too am going to agree with Green Goblin. I feel like Willem Dafoe went the fuck off in this. Like they said, hey, it feels like they were like, you have free reign to give us the Green Goblin you wanted to give us many moons ago, and he said, say less, King. And he just went in and said, fuck it, because this Green Goblin pays so much respect to the Green Goblin that we got in Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man movie. God damn, son.
One thing I really want to mention in this is the fact that you know how we have like perfect castings, and we talk about perfect castings for like heroes and main characters all the time?
Yeah.
He is the perfect Green Goblin.
Nobody ever would have been able to take that from him. Ever.
Nobody can top him ever. He is the perfect Green Goblin.
Now, granted, too, he is just a very good actor, and I feel like that coincides very well too with him being just well built for Green Goblin.
He's one of the best actors of our
Dude.
time. Let's be real.
Period.
Mhm.
Period. Period, dude. Anyways, I think I can speak for all of us when I say, you guys at home, listeners, viewers, if you have not seen this movie yet, you need to go fucking see it as soon as you possibly can.
See it today.
If for
Absolutely.
some reason you didn't
Need a
plan
minute.
on seeing this movie, go see this fucking movie.
Yeah.
And here's what I'll say too. This movie, you don't necessarily need to see if you're not a big Marvel MCU person, you don't need to see all the Marvel movies.
No.
Essentially to see this movie, you just need to see all the other Spider-Man movies to know the backstory of the villains.
If you were a child and you
And-
ever watched any of the other Spider-Man movies, you'll be
You
able to
would-
see
yeah.
this. Yeah, period.
I haven't watched the previous Spider-Mans like in years. I mean, especially like the Amazing Spider-Mans. I probably haven't seen them since they came out, and I was totally fine.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
fantastic.
you probably won't be able to like spot out Easter eggs as well, but like you'll
Sure.
be totally
You know,
you'll definitely be able to appreciate the movie.
But there's
watched-
there's enough natural exposition between
Mm-hmm.
the characters in this movie that's like I said, it stands alone really well. Like this, you don't have to see all the other Marvel content that's currently rolling out in order to get a grasp of what's going on in this. You know, yeah, you don't need too deep of an explanation.
And I
They
think
do it
that was
for
the
you.
I think that was the plan too, because like you have to keep in mind that with this new Spider-Man, there's a much younger crowd going to see Spider-Man and stuff like that, because you know a lot of us were kids during that time. We're starting to have kids of our own that we want to get involved into the realm of comics and comic book movies and stuff like that. So naturally, they would probably have in the back of their mind, well, what if we have an audience that hasn't seen these movies yet before? Like, because like I brought Lydia with me, and
did she love it?
she absolutely. So I will say this in the beginning part when it's a little bit slower. Jackie told me that like she turned over. She's like, "I'm bored. I'm tired." But then when it started to pop off,
She was
like,
there for
that's
it.
when she like,
Yeah.
oh my god! I turned over. Her eyes were just wide the entire time. She's like, oh.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
She
dude.
fucking loved it.
I love that too, because you just know she's gonna grow up and she's gonna be like, my life changed when I saw Spider-Man No Way Home in theaters.
She's
Yeah.
seen other Marvel movies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you
I think she's
know-
watched Shang-Chi 6 out of the 9 times I've watched it.
Yeah. Does she have a favorite superhero?
It changes every now and then. The one that has always been constant is Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
'Cause I
Hulk
also
has
have
always
a-
been big with
I have
kiddos,
a Hulk
feel like.
figurine up there that she's always wanting to play with. And I'm like, no, we're
Yeah.
not doing that.
Yeah.
Granted, back when we were talking about What If, that the murder mystery episode, that kind of shocked her for a bit, seeing Hulk blow up like a fucking balloon.
Oh yeah.
She was-
It
she
shocked
saw that-
me too. I saw it.
Because
I
like she was like,
oh.
because she's like Hulk. Oh my god, that's my favorite Hulk. And then all of a sudden he's just
He
like
just
sitting there
blows up.
I remember you
What
mentioning that during our What If
Yeah.
review. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
fucking heartbreaking. Anyways, Devin,
Oh
I
my
feel
God.
like we're gonna before we end off here, you were gonna say something a little bit earlier. I don't know if you remember off the top of your head, but
Oh yeah, no, I watched all the Spider-Man movies leading up to this over
Same.
the last couple weeks.
same. Let's
And,
go. Let's go.
And that's why I was saying it's like if it's not a bad idea to watch all those in a sense, because it makes it a little bit more close to home. You know
It
what
impacts. It impacts
I
a
mean?
lot more.
Yeah, because there are a lot of Easter eggs in this movie and a lot of callbacks to other scenes from the other movies in that movie too. So, and in the video game too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, guys,
Surreal, we're actually ending.
we're ending right now. I know Cyril's gotta go pee pee.
Come back.
Gotta go take that pee pee. Guys, our schedule this week on Tuesday, we have another GK podcast. Yes, Vandal. We switched to stream elements, and I still kept the flesh command. Let's go.
Oh
Let's
my
go.
God.
Let's go. That was the only one of the just like random bullshit ones that I kept because Vandal. I had to give that to Vandal.
Don't worry, I will be adding more.
Please
Oh,
don't.
Lord.
I just cleaned.
Just
I got rid of the Mr. Anderson one because I was like, we never fucking use that one.
Yeah, we never use that
There was a
one.
few
Yeah,
that were
that-
just like there for extra effect, but I kept the important ones like the for me and so on and so forth. Anyways, GK podcast on Tuesday. We are going to be setting up me, Devin, and Garrick's fantasy critic games gig. It is going to be a damn good time. I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but there's a website you can go to where you basically play fantasy football for video games, and that is what we're going to be doing on Tuesday. It is a course of us picking a number of games for 2022, and the concept. Oh, bye, Cyril. We love you. We love you. Bye, bye. Be good. Be good. Be good. We pick a list of games for that are coming out next year, and the concept is that we gain points based on what that game's Metacritic score is. So the idea is that we pick what games we think are going to be most successful throughout the course of next year as they release, and we accumulate points. And by the time we get to this point next year, we'll find out who wins. It's a year-long gig, but we pick our teams on Tuesday. It'll be a damn good time. On Wednesday, come back in, hang out with Devin as he plays more Halo Infinite. Let's go. The new multiplayer just rolled out, and Devin's going to be throwing it the fuck down there. Xander's going to be co-streaming with him. Guys, come in
Yes,
here
sir.
and hang out. It's going to be damn.
Yeah, it's gonna be a damn good time. It's gonna be really rad. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be
Thursday.
Really fun.
We are recording Splash Damage, episode 7, as our last piece of content for the week before we get out of here for Christmas weekend and hang out with our families and stuff. If you want access to Splash Damage episode 7, please head on over to patreon.com/goodkraken show, where we will be able to live stream that to you guys. Only the people on our Patreon get access to the link to watch the live recording of that episode. Otherwise you have to wait until Sunday when it drops for you guys to listen to it in public. Do it that way. Friday and Saturday, we're not doing any content. It is Christmas weekend. Go hang out with your fucking families. Enjoy yourselves. Eat lots of food for us. Take pictures of it and send it to our Discord.
Yes,
Because
sir.
We want to.
And I will be judging those dishes with a keen eye. I was trained by one Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
But it was
It's
spelled
facts.
differently,
This
and he
was
didn't
cat
look.
shit.
He didn't look at all like he does on TV, and he doesn't have a British accent. So
Fucking disgusting. I won't feed this to my dog. Like,
weird.
he's just like, that's
This tastes like cat shit.
But yeah,
Guys,
send
if-
those because we definitely want to see what you guys are munching on.
If you have seen Spider-Man, please, guys, let us know what you thought of Spider-Man No Way Home down below in the comments. Add us on Twitter. Get into our Discord. Talk to us about it on there. We love to hear from you guys. In the meantime, y'all, this has been the Good Kraken Podcast, your choice for all the nerdy video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you wanted to hear live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 12 p.m. right here at twitch.tv/Good Show. If you enjoy the show, you can head on over to patreon.com/Good Show, where you can submit questions and topics to the show. You get exclusive post-show content, and you have early access to the episodes before they go live on podcasts and video services across the digital sea. Devin, hit him with it. You can also support us by going to our YouTube channel by clicking that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Good Kraken with an exclamation mark and leaving a review there. We're going to go have a spoiler-filled fucking post show right now. If you want access to that, early access tomorrow morning, this post show will drop for patrons only. Go to patreon.com/Good Show if you want access to that. We don't have post show available for public, so please, if you want access to it, get into spoilers with us, head on over to there. In the meantime, my friends, be good to each other.
This is a sports bar.
This is a sports bar. Go see Spider-Man.